Okay, here I am, back again. A few minutes late because I was busy watching the Knuckles TV show based off of the Sonic movies. Pretty good. Now, where did we leave off? Right, I am infiltrating somewhere to get something for someone so that I can do something.
You know you can afford a septum or two. Watch the skies, traveler.
I'm not sure if it's just me. I don't know if I just never noticed it before, but the controls really have quite a bit of delay.
Too old to work. That don't make me too
Like,
old to drink.
I press that, and it takes like a second to actually go forward.
Our hero claims a warrior's heart.
Oh no, I must not have noticed it before.
You ready yet? I need to get back before I missed.
Yeah.
Remember, you won't have anything except what I smuggle in for you.
Sure.
Okay, I'll get this inside the embassy for you. I've got to go. I'll find you at the party. Don't
I'll
worry.
just give you everything I have, I suppose. Oh, right. Give that, those. I have a lot of arrows. I can't get rid of this for some reason. Give him that too, why not? He's gonna... Do I have to give him my clothes? That doesn't seem right, if I have to give him my clothes.
I'm a little busy at the moment. I've got all sorts of them.
Okay. Back to solitude.
Your job is to get into the party without being fingered as a spy.
Fingered?
Take care of the rest.
Now, you listen here. I don't know what kind of party this is, but there will be no fingering.
Your job is to get into the party without being fingered as a spy. I'll take care of the rest.
You didn't have to be right in my ear when you said that. Cattler's Farm.
How can I help, Brother Noor?
Give me your money, your clothes, your women. Oh, hello.
Have you given Malborn the gear you want to smuggle into the embassy?
Yeah, I didn't have to give him my armor, did I? That seems a bit much.
Good. I have your invitation to the party. But the only way you're going to get past the guards is if they really believe you're an invited guest. Which means you need to look the part and not be armed to the teeth. Here, put this on. When you're ready, I'll keep the rest of your gear safe.
Okay, so I give you my gear. Okay, that seems fair.
Malborn smuggled in for you, plus whatever you can pick up inside.
Okay. Ah. Okay.
You can't go to a party at the Thalmor Embassy dressed like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, it makes sense. I can't enter a party wearing the Iron Helmet of Destruction. What about the amulet?
You can't go to the party.
I'll take off the amulet then. Christ. Ah, the gauntlets.
Falmore Embassy dressed like that.
What about this?
I guess that will have to do. You should pass for a real
Ouch.
guest, at least until you open your mouth.
Ouch
Ready to board the
again.
carriage to the embassy?
Yeah.
Don't worry, it will all be waiting for you when you get back. Just
Really?
make sure you get back out of there alive with the information.
I've never had someone waiting at home for me before. Can I go back to first person, please?
Fellow latecomers, this little soiree. And arriving by carriage, no less. I salute you, sir.
Well, I'm not going to
My
walk.
lateness is due more to getting lost on the way up this god's forsaken mountain than any desire to actually arrive late. I prefer to arrive early, often the day before the party, so as not to miss out on any of the drinking.
A wizard.
There's not enough drinking in the world today, wouldn't you agree?
Partly. Hmm. Okay. Anything else?
Please. I will just...
Welcome to the Solmore Embassy.
The Solmore Embassy.
Thank you, sir. Go right in.
Here you go.
Now then, here's my invitation. I don't have a poison dagger strapped to my thigh, etc., etc.
I'm just doing my duty, sir. Everything's in order. Welcome back, sir.
Oh, he's a reoccurring guest.
Guests are advised to remain inside.
Welcome. I don't believe we've met. I am Elenwen, the Falmore ambassador to Skyrim. And you are?
With the soldiers all fighting in the war, there's nobody to hunt down the bandits.
My name is Tam Smithy. Pleased to meet you. The underscore is silent.
Well, there might be nothing to it, but I've heard that between the great
You're Elenwen. I've heard so much about you.
Have you? All good, I trust. But you have me at a disadvantage. I'm afraid I know nothing about you. Please, tell me more about yourself. What brings you to this... to Skyrim?
Well, all you need to know is that I am single. I am ready to get back out there.
Permission to uncork the
Of
Arinthia
course,
Red.
I've told you before not to bother me with such trifles.
Yes, Madam Ambassador.
So hard to find good help these days,
We'll have to
isn't
get
it?
acquainted later. Please, enjoy yourself. I trust that this is just the beginning of a long and mutually beneficial relationship.
I've never been in such a relationship before. You flatter me.
Quite often, yes. The only thing I enjoy more than luxury is sharing that luxury with those who can appreciate it. But I also enjoy learning the latest gossip and hearing the most intriguing rumors. Of course not. One does not gather the most important men and women of Skyrim and then serve them cheap ale and stale bread.
Even if they may deserve
This
it.
is only a taste of the benefits that accrue to those that align themselves with Falmore interests.
Oh, someone's rocking it out on the flute.
sometimes since I've had some news from elsewhere in Skyrim.
One of my main duties is to foster a better understanding between the Aldmeri Dominion and the people of Skyrim. I also oversee the activities of the Thalmor Justiciars throughout Skyrim, although this has been most unfortunately disrupted by the war.
I've never quite understood exactly what the Justiciars do.
The Thalmor Justiciars are so often
I really need to pick an accent and stick with it if I'm going to pretend to be the
Empire
character.
and the Aldmeri Dominion. The worship of the false god Talos contributed to the unfortunate friction that led to the Great War. Following the Great War, the White Gold Concordat set out the terms for peaceful coexistence between the two powers. The Empire and the Dominion agreed that the worship of Talos was a relic of the past and must be eliminated in the interests of peace. But I'm sure you didn't come here for a lecture on high politics. Do enjoy yourself.
We're not supposed to talk to the guests.
Oh, that's too bad. I'd quite like to talk to you.
Drink around here.
Oh, you made it in.
I need another drink.
What can I get for you? You made it in. Good. As soon as you distract the guards, I'll open this door and we can get you on your way.
I just got here. Let me have a drink first.
I'll leave you to it.
Yes, what do you need?
I'd like a drink.
Here you go, sir. The finest Colovian brandy. Is there anything else I can get for you? All right, then.
It's been a brutal winter. I can't remember the last time it was this cold in this land.
Speak true.
A Jarl.
Have you heard any interesting rumors of late?
Well, I did see something interesting.
Undolama.
The degeneracy of the Empire is on display here in this room.
You don't look that bad.
There are those in the Empire who would wish to evade their obligations to help root out the Talos heresy. Fortunately, those most opposed to the Emperor's wise policy have now branded themselves traitors as well as heretics. I am here to remind the ruling classes of Skyrim that their loyalty to the Emperor requires cooperation with the Thalmor.
I don't understand what you just said, but I will move on.
Until next time.
If there is a next time, yes.
What can I get for you?
How are you doing that? Sorcery! It must be those special cups that don't spill.
I'm sorry, but I think you've had enough for the moment.
I have had one drink, damn you.
See ya.
I don't recall seeing you at one of these before, and I know everyone who's anyone.
I'm so glad you could attend today.
How about those who are no one?
Reveal another's true nature. It is the heart.
The hospitality of the Thalmor Embassy is at your
I
service.
couldn't have said it better myself. It is not often since I had
What does a fellow need to do to get a drink around here? Ah, the one generous soul among
Here, friend, I brought you a drink.
Lickspittles.
Lickspittle.
Anything I can ever do for you, do not hesitate to call upon me.
You see that lady over there? If you could hit her in the head, that would be sweet.
Immediately. Say on, friend. Is that all? My friend, you've come to the
He's a
right
mischief
person.
maker.
You could say that causes
I'm growing quite fond of you. You better
Stand
not die.
back and behold my handiwork.
I will behold
They
it.
seem to think it's at least a dozen, but I'm sure they're exaggerating.
Attention, everyone. Could I have your attention, please? I have
Save us
announced
from the dragon's throat.
I propose a toast to Ellenwyn, our mistress. I speak figuratively, of course. Nothing could be more unlikely than that someone would actually want her in their bed.
I mean,
Most of you are already in bed with her. But again,
Huh?
I speak figuratively, of course. Fine, fine. Get your hands off me. I'll be a good boy now.
Let's go. Let's go. Before anyone notices us.
I really want to see this go on.
Bring me a drink, quick.
What do you mean optional retrieve my gear? Of course I'm going to retrieve my gear. What's behind this wall?
Let's hope nobody saw us slip out. We need to pass through the kitchen. Your gear is hidden in the larder. Just stay close and let me do any talking. Got it? Follow me.
Okay. Don't be suspicious, 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 don't be suspicious.
In the kitchens? You know this is against the rules.
Rules, is it, Zavani? I didn't realize that eating moon sugar was permitted.
Oh.
Perhaps I should ask the ambassador.
Get out of here. I saw nothing.
Your gear is in that chest. I'll lock the door behind you. Don't screw this up.
Yeah.
I need to lock the door behind you, or the patrols might notice something's wrong.
Okay.
Good
Did you
luck.
see those robes?
You're on your own.
this morning? Who are they with? More of the emissaries' treaty enforcers. Did you hear something?
Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh no. That's not fair. I have no armor. What do you mean you're my master? I am a humble guest who honestly feels quite overwhelmed by the lack of service. Oh, fuck that.
We've been infiltrated.
What? I don't stand a chance against these guys.
What does a fellow need to do to get a drink around here?
Hello,
I don't
Ellen
believe
Wen.
we've met. I am Ellen Wen, the Thalmor ambassador to
I'm
Skyrim.
aware.
And you are? Please, tell me, what is it now, Born?
It's just that we've...
I look forward to the day when this rebellion is put down and we once again have peace.
I hope you're enjoying the music, sir.
Yes.
What can I get for you? I hope you're in... Here you go, sir. Colovian brandy. Until next time.
Has grown ugly. Frolly a grain.
What does a fellow need to do to get a drink around here? Ah, if there's anything I can ever do for you, wonderful. Is that all? Stand back and behold my handiwork.
Hey.
Attention, everyone. Could I have you?
What can I get for you? You made it in. Good. Let's hope we both live through this day.
Uh-huh.
Let's go. Let's go. Before anyone notices us.
Quick save. And squats.
Oh. So far, so good. Let's hope nobody saw us slip out. We need to pass through the kitchen. Your gear is hidden in the larder. Just stay close and let me do any talking. Got it? Follow me.
Who comes now, girl? You know I don't like strange smells in my kitchen.
A guest feeling ill. Leave the poor wretch be.
A guest? In the kitchens? You know this is against the rules.
Rules, is it, Zavala? I didn't realize that moon sugar was permitted. Perhaps I should ask the ambassador.
I saw nothing.
Right, let me save it properly, actually.
Your gear is in that chest. I'll lock the door behind you. Don't screw this up. Good
Did you
luck.
see those robes
You're on your own.
this morning? Who are they with? More of the emissaries' treaty enforcers? No, they're high mages, just in from Alinor. I guess himself is finally getting worried about all the dragon attacks. Ah, good. I've been wondering how we were supposed to defend this place from a dragon. If a dragon does show up, maybe we'll get lucky, and it will eat the mages first.
Ooh.
Might give us enough time to kill it. Ha! I'd like to see those arrogant bastards taken down a notch. Always looking down their noses at us lowly.
They're quite valuable, it would seem.
Well, we'd better get back to our rounds.
Oh. Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. I'm not being suspicious. Uh-oh. Alright. And there it goes again. I'm sure I can sneak past.
Your gear is in that chest.
I can make Dragon Ball weapons.
Don't screw this up.
That's good.
I need to lock the door behind you, or the patrols might notice something's wrong.
Sending wind against the dragon. That sounds too good. I'll himself started. Maybe.
I need to lock the door behind you, or the patrols might notice something's wrong.
Oh. Alright.
Good luck.
Did you see those robes
You're on your own.
this morning? Who are they with? More of the emissaries' treaty enforcers? No, they're high mages, just in from Alinor. I guess himself is finally getting worried about all the dragon attacks. Ah, good. I've been wondering how we were supposed to defend this place from the
Okay.
If a dragon does show up, maybe we'll get lucky, and it will eat the mages first. Might give us enough time to kill it. Ha! I'd like to see those arrows.
Okay, not doing great for progress.
Always looking down their noses at us lowly foot sloggers. Well, we better get back to our rounds.
I have a headache today. That's cool. Depending like where the camera like is pointed, it'll either focus or defocus on areas. That's really cool. Ooh. Shh. No way I can fight them. Maybe one of them, given like proper space and circumstance. But in here, no. And two of them, definitely not. Shit. Excuse me. Skyrim. What is that? I think the plan was to not get caught, wasn't it? Oh no. Alright. Just take it all. Just run.
Is someone there?
No. Ah.
Scared him off.
So close. How do I do this? I can't fight them, especially not without armor.
Must have scared him off.
Oh no.
If a dragon does show up, maybe we'll get lucky.
That one doesn't count.
First. Might give us enough time to kill it.
Ah, screw it, it does.
I'd like to see those arrogant bastards taken down a notch. Always looking down their noses at us lowly foot sloggers. Well, we'd better get back to our rounds.
It's genuinely just like so warm in here. Oh, no.
Never should have come here.
Really?
If a dragon does show up, maybe we'll get lucky and it will eat the mages first. Might give us enough time to kill it. Ha! I'd like to see those arrogant bastards taken down a notch. Always looking down their noses at us lowly foot sloggers.
Okay.
We better get back to our rounds.
Oh, goodness me. Everything's just warm and spinning. I don't know what's up. Maybe I've got a cold, like, or something like that. I mean, it was quite wet when I went for my morning jog. A ghost! Look! Ghost!
never should have.
Really? Oh no.
Scared him off.
I'm in between a rock and a hard place. I can't beat these guys. Given the right circumstance, I could probably beat one of them, but two of them? No way! I don't have the DP for that. Hold on. I'll do the squats in a second. Maybe I should try the axe. I mean, it does more damage, and it does 20 magic damage too. The only issue, it's two-handed. I may as well try. Hold on. When it says it does 20 magic damage, does it mean on top of the 22 damage like it already does, or is that including? Because depending on which one it is, it's really just going to determine how effective it is, isn't it?
You're dead. Damn you! Scared him off.
Must have scared him off. I'm dead on a bloody puddle on the floor.
If a dragon does show, maybe we'll get lucky and it will eat the mage's.
Ah.
Might give us enough time to kill it. Ha! I'd like to see those arrogant bastards taken down a notch. Always looking down their noses at us lowly foot sloggers. Well, we better get back to our rounds.
I'm honestly so warm. I don't know why my window's quite far open. Let me get these curtains. Is this what... I can't even think of a pun or anything witty to say. I'm just stuck.
Is someone there?
No.
Damn you!
Oh, that's the closest I got.
If a dragon does show, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll eat the mages first. Might give us enough time to kill it. Ha! I'd like to see those arrogant bastards taken down a notch. Always looking down their noses at us lowly foot sloggers.
Hold on.
Well, we better get... back to our round.
I'm not sure that's going to be a big difference. Oh, it actually is. Really? Nothing up here. How? How could you have possibly known I was up here?
Don't you see? Elven supremacy is the time for you humans to learn your place.
This just isn't fair though, is it? 2 on 1, I don't know if I'm underleveled or this is just how difficult it is on like the hardest difficulty. But this just isn't fair.
If a dragon does show up, maybe we'll get lucky and it will eat the mages first. Might give us enough time to kill it.
It's making me dizzy, honestly.
Always looking down their noses at us lonely foot sloggers. Well, we'd better get back to our rounds.
I smell horrible too, that's not gonna help. What? Okay.
Must have scared them off.
That's not it.
What the fuck?
If the dragon does show up, maybe
There, through the wall! It's an intruder!
I'd like to see those arrogant.
What happened to all this, must have been the wind bullshit? What is that? They can see through walls? Through ceilings? Never mind eyes on the back of their heads, they have eyes all over the house. I hate to do this, truly I do. But that's BS. And I'm warm, I have a headache. I just don't think I can play this right now, sadly. But I won't leave you with nothing. I'll read out the rest of that poem or scene, whatever it is, because, well, there's nothing else I can do really, because I have a headache, I'm feeling a bit dizzy, I'm warm, and they can see through walls. King Edward III, Scene 2. My lords, I have, by the advice of her whom I am doubly bound to obey, my parent and my sovereign, called you together. My task is great, my burden heavier than my unfledged years. Yet with your kind assistance, lords, I hope England shall dwell in peace, that while my father toils in his wars and turns his eyes on this, his native shore, and sees commerce fly with his white wings, and see his golden London and her silver Thames thronged with shining spires and corded ships, her merchants buzzing round like summer bees, and all the golden cities in his land overflowing with honey. Glory may not be dimmed with clouds of care, say lords. Should not our thought be first commerce? My Lord Bishop, you would recommend us agriculture. Sweet Prince, the arts of peace are great, and no less glorious than those of war. Perhaps more glorious in the philosophic mind when I sit at my home, a private man, my thoughts are on my gardens and my fields, how to employ the hands that lacketh their bread. If industry is my diocese, religion will flourish, each man's heart is cultivated and will bring forth fruit. This is my private duty and my pleasure. But as I sit in council with my prince, my thoughts take in the general good of the whole, and England is the land favoured by commerce. For commerce, though the child of agriculture, foster his parents, who else must sweat and toil, and gain but scanty fare. Then, my dear lord, be England's trade our care, and we as tradesmen looking to the gain of this our native land. O my good lord, true wisdom drops like honey from your tongue as from a worshipped oak. Forgive, my lords, my talkative youth, that speaks not merely with what my narrow observation has picked up, but what I have concluded from your lessons. Now by the Queen's advice I ask your leave to dine tomorrow with the Mayor of London. If I obtain your leave, I have another boon to ask, which is the favour of your company. I fear Lord Percy will not give me leave. Dear sir, a prince should always keep his state, and grant his favours with a sparing hand, or they are never rightly valued. These are my thoughts, yet it were best to go, but keep a proper dignity for now. You represent the sacred person of your father. 'Tis with princes as 'tis with the sun, if not sometimes o'erclouded, we grow weary of his officious glory. Then you will give me leave to shine sometimes, my lord? Thou hast a gallant spirit, which I fear will be imposed on by the closer sort. Well, I'll endeavour to take Lord Percy's advice. I have been used so much to dignity that I am sick on't. Fie, fie, Lord Clarence, you proceed not to business, but speak of your own pleasures. I hope their lordships will excuse your giddiness. My lords, the French have fitted out many small ships of war, that, like to ravening wolves, infest our English seas, devouring all our burdened vessels, spoiling our naval flocks. The merchants do complain and beg our aid. The merchants are rich enough, can they not help themselves? They can, and may, but how to gain their will requires our countenance and help. When that they find they must, my lord, they will. Let them suffer a while, and you shall see they will bestir themselves. Lord Percy cannot mean that we should suffer this disgrace. If so, we are not sovereigns of the sea. Our right that heaven gave to England, when at the birth of nature she was seated in the deep, the ocean seized his mighty roar, and fawning played round Lord Percy. If the heart is sick, played round her snowy feet, and own his awful queen. Lord Percy, if the heart is sick, the head must be aggrieved. If but one member suffer, the heart doth fail. You say, my lord, the merchants can, if they will, defend themselves against these rovers. This is a noble scheme, worthy the brave Lord Percy, and is worthy his generous aid to put into practice. Lord Bishop, what was rash in me is wise in you. I dare not own the plan. 'Tis not mine, yet will I, if you please, quickly to the Lord Mayor and work him onward to this most glorious voyage, on which cast I'll set my whole estate. But we will bring these Gallic rovers under. Thanks, brave Lord Percy, you have the thanks of England's Queen, and will ere long of England. Exeunt. I didn't just spit on myself. Luckily I didn't get any on the book. Well, at least nothing noticeable. Scene 3. At Cressy, Sir Thames Dagworth and Lord Audley meeting. Good morrow, brave Sir Thomas. The bright morn smiles on our army, and the gallant sun springs from the hills like a young hero into the battle, shaking his golden locks exultingly. This is a promising day. Why, my Lord Audley, I don't know. Give me your hand, and now I'll tell you what I think you do not know. Edward's afraid of Philip. Ha ha, Sir Thomas, you but joke. Did you e'er see him fear at Blanchetac, when almost singly he drove 6,000 French from the ford? Did he fear then? Yes, fear that made him fight so. By the same reason I might say 'tis fear that makes you fight. Mayhap you may look upon Edward's face. No one can say he fears, but when he turns his back, then I will say it to his face. He is afraid. He makes us all afraid. I cannot bear the enemy at my back. Now here we are at Cressy, where tomorrow we shall know. I say, Lord Audley, that Edward runs away from Philip. Perhaps you think the prince, too, is afraid. No, God forbid, I'm sure he is not. He's a young lion. Oh, I have seen him fight and give command, and lightning has flashed from his eyes across the field. I have seen him shake hands with death and strike a bargain for the enemy. He has danced in the field of battle like the youth at morris play. I'm sure he's not afraid, nor Warwick nor none of us but me, and I am very much afraid. Are you afraid too, Sir Thomas? I believe that as much as I believe. I believe that as much as I believe the king's afraid. But what are you afraid of? Of having my back laid open. We turn our backs to the fire till we shall burn our skirts. And this, Sir Thomas, you call fear? Your fear is of a different kind then from the king's. He fears to turn his face, and you to turn your back. I do not think, Sir Thomas, you know what fear is. Enter Sir John Chandos. Good morrow, generals, I give you joy. Welcome to the fields of Cressy. Here we stop and wait for Philip. I hope so. There, Sir Thomas, do you call that fear? I don't know. Perhaps he takes it by fits. Why, noble Chandos, look you here. One rotten sheep spoils the whole flock, and if the bellwether is tainted, I wish the prince may not catch the distemper too. Distemper, Sir Thomas? What distemper? I have not heard. Why, Chandos, you are a wise man. I know you understand me. A distemper, the king caught here in France of running away. Sir Thomas, you say you have caught it too, and so will the whole army. 'Tis very catching, for when the coward runs, the brave man totters. Perhaps the air of the country is the cause. I feel it coming upon me, so I strive against it. Yet you, who are yet whole, but after a few more retreats, we all shall know how to retreat better than fight. To be plain, I think retreating too often takes away a soldier's courage. Here comes the king himself. Tell him your thoughts plainly, Sir Thomas. I've told him before, but his disorder makes him deaf. Enter King Edward and the Black Prince. Good morrow, generals. When English courage fails, down goes our right to France. But we are conquerors everywhere. Where nothing can stand our soldiers, each man is worthy of a triumph. Such an army of heroes ne'er shouted to the heavens, nor shook the field. Edward, my son, thou art most happy having such command. The men were base who were not fird to deeds above heroic, having such examples. Sire, with respect and deference I look upon such noble souls, and wish myself worthy the high command that heaven and you have given me. When I have seen the field glow, and in each countenance the soul of war curved by the manliest reason, I have been winged with certain victory, and 'tis my boast, and shall be my still glory. I was inspired by these brave troops. Your Grace had better make them all generals. Sir Thomas Dagworth, you must have your joke, and shall while you can fight as you did at the ford. I have a small petition, your Majesty. What can Sir Thomas Dagworth ask that Edward can refuse? I hope your Majesty cannot refuse so great a trifle. I've gilt your cause with my best blood, and would again were I not forbid by him who I am bound to obey. My hands are tied up, my courage shrunk and withered, my sinews slackened, and my voice scarce heard. Therefore I beg I may return to England. I know not what you could have asked, Sir Thomas, that I would not have sooner parted with than such a soldier as you have been, and such a friend. Nay, I will know the most remote particulars of this your strange petition, that if I can, I still may keep you here. Here on the fields of Cressy we are settled, till Philip springs the trim covey again. The wolf is hunted down by the causeless fear. The lion flees, and fear usurps his heart, startled, astonished at the clamorous cock. The eagle that doth gaze upon the sun fears the small fire that plays about the fen. If at this moment of their idle fear the dog doth seize the wolf, the forester the lion, the negro in the crevice of the rock doth seize the soaring eagle, undone by flight, they tame submit, such the effect flight has on noble souls. Now hear its opposite. The timorous stag starts from the thicket wild, the fearful crane springs from the splashy fen, the shining snakes glide o'er the bending grass, the stag turns head and bays the crying hounds, the crane o'ertaken, sighteth with the hawk, the snake doth turn and bite the padding foot, and if your Majesty's afraid of Philip, you are more like a lion than a crane. Therefore I beg I may return to England. Sir Thomas, now I understand your mirth, which often plays with wisdom for its pastime, and brings good counsel from the breast of laughter. I hope you'll stay and see us fight this battle, and reap rich harvest in the fields of Cressy. Then go to England, tell them how we fight, and set all hearts on fire to be with us. Philip is plumbed, and thinks we flee from him, else he would never dare to attack us. Now the quarry's set, and death doth sport in the bright sunshine of this fatal day. Now my heart dances, and I am as light as the young bridegroom going to be married. Now must I to my soldiers get them ready, furbish our armours bright, new plume our helms, and we will sing like the young housewives busied in the dairy. My feet are winged, but not for flight, and please your grace. If all my soldiers are as pleased as you, 'twill be a gallant thing to fight or die. Then I can never be afraid of Philip. A raw-bond fellow t'other day passed by me. I told him to put off his hungry looks. He answered me, I hunger for another battle. I saw a little Welshman with a fiery face. I told him he looked like a candle half burnt out. He answered he was pig enough to light another paddle. Last night beneath the moon I walked abroad, when all had pitched their tents and all was still. I heard a blooming youth singing a song he had composed, and at each pause he whipped his dropping eyes. Wiped, not whipped. The ditty was, if he returned victorious, he should wed a maiden fairer than snow, and rich as midsummer. Another wept and wished health to his father. I chid them both, but gave them noble hopes. Those are the minds that glory in the battle, and leap and dance to hear the trumpet sound. Sir Thomas Dagworth, be thou near our person, thy heart is richer than the vales of France. I will not part with such a man as thee. If Philip came armed in the ribs of death, and shook his mortal dart against my head, thou'dst laugh his fury into nerveless shame. Go now, for thou art suited to the work. Throughout the camp inflame the timorous, blow up the sluggish into ardour, and confirm the strong with strength, the weak inspire, and wing their brows with hope and expectation. Then to our tent return, and meet to council. Exit Dagworth. That man's a hero in his closet, and more a hero to the servants of his house than to the gaping world. He carries windows in that enlarged breast of his, that all may see what he's done within. He's a genuine Englishman, my Chandos, and hath the spirit of liberty within him. Forgive my prejudice, Sir John. I think my Englishmen the bravest people on the face of the earth. Courage, my lord, proceeds from self-dependence. Teach man to think he's a free agent. Give but a slave his liberty. He'll shake off sloth and build himself a hut and hedge a spot of ground. This he'll defend. 'Tis his by right of nature. Thus set in action, he will still move onward to plan conveniences, till glory fires his breast to enlarge his castle, while the poor slave drudges all day in hope to rest at night. O liberty, how glorious art thou! I see thee hovering o'er my army with thy wide-stretched plumes. I see thee lead them on to battle. I see thee blow thy golden trumpet while thy sons shout the strong shout of victory. O noble Chandos, I think myself a gardener, my son a vine, which I commit unto thy care. Prune all extravagant shoots, and guide the ambitious tendrils in the paths of wisdom. Water him with thy advice, and heaven rain freshing dew upon his branches. And O Edward, my dear son, learn to think lowly of thyself, as we may all each prefer other. 'Tis the best policy, and 'tis our duty. Exit King Edward. My mouth is getting really dry. Scene 3 is really long. And may our duty, Chandos, be our pleasure. Now we are alone, Sir John I will unburden, and breathe my hopes into the burning air, where 1,000 deaths are posting up and down, commissioned to this fatal field of Cressy. Methinks I see them arm my gallant soldiers, and gird the sword upon each thigh, and fit each shining helm, and string each stubborn bow, and dance to the neighing of our steeds. Methinks the shout begins, the battle burns. Methinks I see them perch on English crests, and roar the wild flame of fierce war upon the thronged enemy. In truth, I am too full. It is my sin to love the noise of war. Chandos, thou seest my weakness. Strong nature will bend all breakers. My blood, like a springtide, does rise so high to overflow all bounds of moderation, while reason in his frail bark can see no shore, or bound for vast ambition. Come take the helm, my Chandos, that my full-blown sails overset me not in the wild tempest. Condemn my venturous youth that plays with danger as the innocent child unthinking plays upon the viper's den. I am a coward in my reason, Chandos. You are a man, my prince, and a brave man. If I can judge of actions, but your heat is the effect of youth and want of use. Use makes the armed field and noisy war pass over as a summer cloud, unregarded or but expected as a thing of course. Age is contemplative, each rolling year brings forth fruit to the mind's treasure house, while vacant youth doth crave and seek about within itself, and findeth discontent. Then tired of thought, impatient takes the wing, seizes the fruits of time, attacks experience, roams around vast nature's forest, where no bounds are set. The swiftest may have room, the strongest find prey, till tired at length, sated and tired, with the changing sameness, old variety, we sit us down and view our former joys with distaste and dislike. Then if we must tug for experience, let us not fear to beat round nature's wilds and rouse the strongest prey. Then if we fall with glory. I know the wolf is dangerous to fight, not good for food, nor is the hide a comely vestment. So we have our battle for our pains. I know that youth has need of age to point fit prey, and oft the stander by shall steal the fruit of the other's labours. This is philosophy. These are the tricks of the world, but the pure soul shall mount on native wings, disdaining little sport, and cut a path into the heaven of glory. leaving a track of life for men to wonder at. I'm glad my father does not hear me talk. You can find friendly excuses for me, Chandos, but do you not think, Sir John, that if it please the Almighty to stretch out my span of life, I shall with pleasure view a glorious action which my youth mastered? Considerate age, my lord, views motives and not acts. When neither warbling voice nor trilling pipe is heard, nor pleasure sits with trembling age, the voice of conscience then, sweeter than music in a summer's eve, shall warble round the snowy head and keep sweet symphony to feathered angels, sitting as guardians round your chair. Then shall the pulse beat slow, and taste and touch and sight and sound and smell, that sing and dance around reason's fine wrought throne, shall flee away, and leave him all forlorn, yet not forlorn if conscience is his friend. Exeunt. Okay, scene 4 is significantly shorter. It's only 2 pages. Scene 5 is also 2, and scene 6, as long as it's not like another 4 or 5 like scene 3. Oh, scene 6 is also... Okay, we can do this. In Sir Thomas Dagworth's tent. That door is putting me so on edge. In Sir Thomas Dagworth's tent, Dagworth and William his man. Bring hither my armour, William. Ambition is the growth of every clime. Does it grow in England, sir? Aye, it grows most in lands most cultivated. Then it grows most in France. The vines here are finer than any we have in England. Aye, but the oaks are not. What is the tree you mentioned? I don't think I ever saw it. Ambition. Is it a little creeping root that grows in ditches? Thou dost not understand me, William. It is a root that grows in every breast. Ambition is the desire or passion that one man has to get before another, in any pursuit after glory, but I don't think you have any of it. Yes, I have. I have a great ambition to know everything, sir. But when our first ideas are wrong, what follows must all be wrong, of course. 'Tis best to know a little, and to know that little aright. Then, sir, I should be glad to know if it was not ambition that brought over our king to France to fight for his right. Though the knowledge of that will not profit thee much, yet I will tell you that it was ambition. Then if ambition is a sin, we are all guilty in coming with him and in fighting for him. Now, William, thou dost thrust the question home, but I must tell you that guilt being an act of the mind, none are guilty but those whose minds are prompted by that same ambition. Now I always thought that a man might be guilty of doing wrong without knowing it was wrong. Thou art a natural philosopher, and knowest truth by instinct, while reason runs aground as we have run our argument. Only remember, William, all have it in their power to know the motives of their own actions, and 'tis a sin to act without some reason. And whoever acts without reason may do a great deal of harm without knowing it. Thou art an endless moralist. Now there's a story come into my head that I will tell your honour, if you'll give me leave. No, William, save it till another time. This is no time for storytelling, but here comes one who is as entertaining as a good story. Enter Peter Blunt. Yonder's a musician going to play before the king. It's a new song about the French and English, and the prince has made the minstrel a squire and given him I don't know what, and I can't tell whether he don't mention us all one by one, and he is to write another about all of us that are to die, that we may be remembered in all England, for all our blood and bones are in France, and a great deal more that we shall all hear by and by. And I came to tell your honour, because you love to hear war songs. And who is this minstrel Peter dost know? Oh I forgot to tell that he has got the same name as Sir John Chandos, that the prince is always with, the wise man that knows us all as well as your honour, only and so good-natured. I thank you, Peter, for your information, but not for your compliment, which is not true. There's as much difference between him and me as between glittering sand and fruitful mould, or shining glass and a wrought diamond, set in rich gold and fitted to the finger of an emperor, such is that worthy Chandos. I know your honour does not think anything of yourself, but everybody else does. Go, Peter, get you gone. Flattery is delicious, even from the lips of a babbler. Exit Peter. I never flatter, your honour. I don't know that. Why, you know, sir, when we were in England at the tournament at Windsor, and the Earl of Warwick was tumbled over, you asked me if he did not look well when he fell, and I said no, he looked very foolish, and you was very angry. You was very angry. That makes me think I should have done a vastly different voice for the character. And I said no, he looked very foolish, and you was very angry with me for not flattering you. You mean that I was angry with you for not flattering the Earl of Warwick? Exeunt. Scene 5. Sir Thomas Dagworth's tent. Sir Thomas Dagworth to him. Enter Sir Walter Manny. Sir Thomas Dagworth, I have been weeping over the men that are to die today. Why, brave Sir Walter, you or I may fall. I know this breathing flesh must lie in rot, covered with silence and forgetfulness. Death runs in cities and smoke, and in still night, when men sleep in their beds, walk about. How many in walled cities lie and groan, turning themselves upon their beds, talking with death, answering his hard demands. How many walk in darkness, terrors around the curtains of their beds. Destruction is ready at the door. How many sleep in earth covered with stones and deathy dust, resting in quietness, whose spirits walk upon the clouds of heaven to die no more. Yet death is terrible, though borne on angels' wings. Yet death is terrible, though borne on angels' wings. How terrible then is the field of death, where he doth rend the vault of heaven and shake the gates of hell. O Dagworth, France is sick. The very sky, though sunshine light it, seems to me as pale as the pale fainting man on his deathbed, whose face is shewn by light of sickly taper. It makes me sad and sick at very heart. Thousands must fall today. Thousands of souls must leave this prison house to be exalted to those heavenly fields where songs of triumph and palms of victory, where peace and joy and love and calm content sit singing in the azure clouds and strew flowers of heaven's growth over the banquet table. Blind ardour and hope upon your feet like shoes, put on the robe of preparation. The table is prepared in shining heaven. The flowers of immortality are blown, that those that fight, fight in good steadfastness, and those that fall shall rise in victory. I've often seen the burning field of war, and often heard the dismal clang of arms. But never till this fatal day of Cressy has my soul fainted with these views of death. I seem to be in one great charnel house, and seem to scent the rotten carcasses. I seem to hear the dismal yells of death, while the black gourd drops from his horrid jaws, yet I not fear the monster in his pride, but oh the souls that are to die today. Stop, brave Sir Walter. Let me drop a tear, then let the clarion of war begin. I'll fight and weep, 'tis in my country's cause. I'll weep and shout for glorious liberty. Grim war shall laugh and shout, decked in tears and blood, shall flow like streams across meadows that murmur down their pebbly channels and spend their sweet lives to do their country's service. Then shall England's verdure shoot her fields shall smile. Her ships shall sing across the foaming sea, her mariners shall use the flute and viol, and rattling guns and black and dreary war shall be no more. Well, let the trumpet sound and the drum beat, let war stain the blue heavens with bloody banners. I'll draw my sword, nor ever sheath it up, till England blow the trump of victory, or I lay stretched upon the field of death. Exeunt. Scene 6. In the camp, several of the warriors met at the king's tent with a minstrel who sings the following song. Okay. If this is a song. O sons of Trojan Brutus, clothed in war, whose voices are the thunder of the field, rolling dark clouds o'er France, muffling the sun. In sickly darkness like a dim eclipse, threatening as the red brow of storms, as fire burning up nations in your wrath and fury. Your ancestors came from the fires of Troy, like lions roused by lightning from their dens, whose eyes do glare against the stormy fires. Heated with war, filled with the blood of Greeks, with helmets hewn and shields covered with gore, in navies black broken with wind and tide. They landed in firm array upon the rocks of Albion, they kissed the rocky shore. Be thou our mother and our nurse. Be thou our mother and our nurse, they said, our children's mother, and thou shalt be our grave, the sepulchre of ancient Troy, from whence shall rise cities and thrones and arms and awful powers. Our fathers swarm from the ships, giant voices are heard from the hills. The enormous sons of ocean run from rocks and caves, wild men naked and roaring like lions, hurling rocks and wielding knotty clubs like oaks entangled. Acres of forest ready for the axe. Our fathers move in firm array to battle. The savage monsters rush like roaring fire, like as a forest roars with crackling flames. When the red lightning borne by furious storms lights on some woody shore the parched heavens, rain fire into the molten raging sea. The smoking trees are strewn upon the shore, spoiled of their verdure, how oft they defied the storm that howled o'er their heads. Our fathers sweating lean on their spears and view the mighty dead, giant bodies streaming blood, dread visages frowning in silent death. Then Brutus spoke. Et tu, Brute? Then Brutus spoke. Inspired our fathers sit attentive on the melancholy shore. Hear ye the voice of Brutus. The flowing waves of time come rolling o'er my breast, he said, and my heart labours with futurity, as sons shall rule the empire of the sea. Their mighty wings shall stretch from east to west. Their nest is in the sea, but they shall roam like eagles for the prey. Nor shall the young crave or be heard, for plenty shall bring forth cities, shall sing, and vales in rich array shall laugh, whose fruitful laps bend down with fullness. As sons shall rise from thrones in joy, each one buckling on his armour. Morning shall be prevented by their swords gleaming, and evening hear their song of victory. Their towers shall be built upon the rocks, their daughters shall sing, surrounded with shining spears. Liberty shall stand upon the cliffs of Albion, casting her blue eyes over the green ocean, or towering stand upon the roaring waves, stretching her mighty spear o'er the distant lands, while with her eagle wings she covereth fair Albion's shore, and all her families. Then this next bit is titled dramatic fragments. Though I'm not going to read that tonight. I'm just going to read a little bit of this, man. Prologue intended for a dramatic piece of King Edward IV. You know, one day, if I'm lucky enough, I'll be able to read you guys a little fragment of a book I'm trying to write. I've even got some poems lined up. You know, some rhyme, some are haikus, but you know, I'm very tired. I'm quite warm. Reading has calmed and soothed my headache. But it seems for now I will have to say goodbye because these guys are superhuman. Okay? Sleep well and wake better. Thank you for watching.